While the Roman Empire crumbled, another civilization was reaching its peak in the jungles of Central America. Europe languished in the Dark Ages, but the Maya were building skyscrapers. For centuries, human voices sounded in this wilderness, and hundreds of cities towered above the trees. The culture produced magnificent art and a complex written language. An understanding of astronomy and mathematics is reflected in a calendar nearly as accurate as our own. But beginning around 800 AD, something happened. One by one, many of the great cities were abandoned. A team of archaeologists has come to the rainforests of Guatemala to study the ancient Maya. Director of the expedition is Vanderbilt University professor Arthur Demarest.
This project has a single research focus. The whole project is trying to address the question of the Maya collapse. Why the Maya civilization collapsed. It's one of the great enigmas of archaeology. Here we're talking about a sophisticated culture, and a century later, in many areas, it's uninhabited rainforest. That is a collapse.
Demarest's project is focused on the final centuries of the civilization, when the city of Tikal was among the greatest of Maya centers. Hieroglyphs from this period tell the story of a group of noblemen who left Tikal around 600 AD. They may have been led by a prince, expelled from the kingdom after losing a battle for the throne. For days, the royal exiles traveled deep into the jungle. About 60 miles from Tikal, in an area called the Patesh Batun, they established a new kingdom, Dos Pilas. Demarest believes that Dos Pilas holds important clues to the collapse of Maya civilization. To get to the remote city, the researchers follow much the same route as the ancient founders. The last leg of the journey is a 4-hour trek through dense rainforest.
I think this is one of the last projects that is really like the old expeditionary archaeology that people think of when they think of Indiana Jones or the expeditions into the jungle. It's almost embarrassing being a Maya archaeologist because they really fit the stereotype of the lost civilization, their temples overgrown with jungle.
It took more than a year for Demarest's team to build the base camp at Dos Pilas. 13 buildings now house 23 archaeologists and more than 80 workers. Many of the laborers hired to excavate the broken temples are themselves descendants of the ancient Maya. Each morning, teams are dispatched to a dozen separate sites around the ruined city. One of the most significant discoveries so far is an extraordinary stone structure. A stairway covered with hieroglyphic writing.
No, it's not damaged at all. It was great. The stairway, I think, is one of the most important monuments that's been found in the study of Maya history. It is a large, perfectly preserved hieroglyphic text, and on it, it talks about a series of wars, battles, and conquests involving Dos Pilas. It's a tremendous piece of information, and its decipherment, I think, is going to change the way we look at this very critical period in Maya history.
Built by the first ruler of Dos Pilas, the stairway is a sacred monument that celebrates great events in the kingdom's history. It is considered invaluable for the story it tells. But there's something else here that Demarest finds intriguing. At some time, late in the city's history, a stone wall was constructed right on top of the elaborate walkway. Demarest believes the mysterious wall may be an important clue to what happened at Dos Pilas, if he can explain why it was built. As workers remove the stones from the stairs, new hieroglyphs are revealed.
I think you can get it out now.
We'll try and work in here. There's one. That's one we've got to remove.
Two, because there's one right up against the glyph.
Okay, there's them.
Steve Houston and David Stewart are the specialists in Maya hieroglyphic decipherment. It's a very rare specialization, and this project has two of the best.
It's really...
This is what we've got to remove.
Yeah. If we go in from above.
They are
Yeah,
able,
we're gonna have to get
as
more of
we
these.
find monuments, to read them.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
There it is. I think... It just peels right off. Look at that. Okay, let's get some wood cutters. What we know so far is that there are a lot of different war events, and they mention a number of different people. All of them are important. They're from different sites, and they tell us about, basically, that they're not getting along with each other.
The carvings tell the story of the early years of Dos Pilas. Almost as soon as the kingdom was begun, Ruler 1 set out to make a name for himself by attacking the great city of Tikal. Stones still cover much of the stairway, but when the wall is completely removed, the hieroglyphs may surrender even more of the history of this aggressive kingdom.